Hello again YouTube, this is Pure2306 aka BW Angelos, and today I'll be bringing you a 3v3 commentary video on the Grassy Flatlands. Notice, not the Finland map. No more Finland, yay! Yeah, I think the only time we'll be going back to Finland is just for the memories, really. Okay, so, yeah, I'm just going to show you this battle, just to show you what a battle on the Flatlands is going to be like, and let's get to it, shall we? Stop waffling on. Okay, I'm on the far left, I'm playing as a Dutch, Aleron's in the middle playing as America, and Ralston, who is on the far right playing as Sweden, has got things started by charging in like a crazy person into his guy. Yeah, he doesn't really like skirmishing. Skirmishing is for pansies, according to Ralston. Yeah, he's just gone straight in, shot one volley with his rifleman, and then screw it, let's just charge straight in. You know, the guy had put a stake line down, and when I see a stake line, my first inkling is not to charge head-on into a load of giant wooden stakey pointy things, but it is. So yeah, good for him. And okay, so on my side, my guy's got Ferguson's, so I've asked Aleron for long rifle support. He's going to back me up on when the Fergusons engage me. His long rifles can move hidden, so my guy doesn't know they're there. I'm up against the guy from the HUNTSMAN clan, which is another reason I wanted to show this, as my guy was from a clan, and clan players are technically supposed to be better than randoms. Or perhaps one clan player and two randoms, no. But individually, he didn't. I took him on 1v1, if you know what I mean. Just with a slight bit of help at the start from Aleron. You just saw Ralston's army getting badly pummeled. He's lost all his skirmishers because he charged in a bit too hastily, and then he loses all of his line because he's up against Coldstream Guards and Green Jackets. He does a good thing on the far right when he takes out all the Fergusons though. Anyway, on my side I've engaged the guy's skirmisher line. For some reason his guys are stood up in light infantry mode, which is helping me greatly when it comes to hitting them. The Green Jackets are all stood up, the Fergusons are all stood up, my guys are all knelt down. I don't know why that happens, but it does, and even though his Fergusons shoot like a Gatling gun, my riflemen are actually taking a fair few down, with the help of Aleron, of course, who's backing me up on the far right. I said I was going to protect his long rifle unit, but in a few seconds I forget about it, and yeah, it gets flattened by French cav, or British cav, I think. Okay, so that's the remnants of Ralston's army, that's all he's got left. And you can see the British army is virtually intact in the background. Yeah, it's probably best to actually skirmish with your opponent before you attack. The only good thing about this, that's the synoptic telling me he's pulling some poor random again. Yeah, the only good thing about us losing an ally is it forces them to attack me. Anyway, this is the long rifle unit I said I was gonna protect. Yes, this is what you call good protection. So I completely let it get flattened. Apologies to Aleron, but my line, I didn't want to get it too close to my skirmish line to ensure I did not take unnecessary losses. But here he gets a bit ahead of himself. Instead of pulling his lifeguards out, which is what he should have done, he then tries to charge my rifles, which I then pull back through my Swiss. I then form my Swiss into a square, and then Aleron comes in from behind them with a unit of regiment of horse. I then switch my dragoons over, and then we just blast them. Aleron, chops them up. You can see my squares forming up right in the middle of them all. The horse guards are trapped. My dragoons shoot them to pieces. My Swiss stab them, and Aleron finishes them off. So that was a waste of one of his best cav units, which is what you really should have protected, because he only had two of them. And yeah, it's probably best to keep that for a rainy day, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is on the far left. I'm 1v1 against his Green Jackets. I'm winning though, because my guys are thinly spread out, and I got the first shot off. Okay, now without Aleron's long rifles, my guys are now going to get slaughtered by the Gatling gun Ferguson units. There's only two of them, but they still managed to wipe out my two rifleman units, but I get them later on. Okay, so this is the French guy, who's now attacking Aleron. His name is Tyler Durden, and he was actually featured in Prince of Macedon's last vid, so this guy's going to be famous soon, I think. Okay, so Tyler attacks in a bit of a rash manner. It's just like you can see Aleron's pulling back, so he charges his whole army in. But he obviously had given a group, or a blob order, if you know what I mean. He just grouped all of his men and just flung them at Aileron. And so instead of having them in small groups where he can micro them easier, he's now trying to individually order them around. And so you're going to get inevitable micro mistakes. Like here, where he charges into a square, and then my dragoons who are behind. Dragoons can fire while mounted now. I assume everyone knows that. Blasted the French cav while Aileron kept them in his square. Okay, so on the far right, the Ferguson's completely destroyed my rifle unit. That was not exactly unexpected for me. But what's going to happen here is I'm going to hold my British guy while I come round the back with my cav, my light cav, and help Aileron. What the French guy has is a lot of grenadiers, so Aileron's going to... That's not what I do personally, which is to charge into them due to grenadiers having a very strong melee attack, but at least it stops them. Here comes Synoptic again, he's going to tell me, yep, he's telling me he's pulling some other noob now. And yeah, I wouldn't exactly charge into grenadiers like this because they have a strong melee attack. I'd actually pull back and let their grenades fall around everywhere, but it's effective. You can see where he's grenadiering his own men, and it's actually chain routing his own men, which is effective. Okay, here the British guy thought that he could take some of my skirmishers off balance, but I was waiting for him. I'm engaged on two flanks, so he must have thought that I was only focusing on that side, which I wasn't. He tries to charge my skirmishers, so I just pull back from my line. He then charges right in front of my line, and he gets shot to pieces. Okay, so Aileron successfully destroyed most of the grenadier units and wiped them all out. He's got the British guy pressing on his right flank, so he's going to have to pull back in a sec. But he wants to try and take as many of the French guys out of the picture before that happens. So I'm going to help him here. I'm going to send my 2 hussars and 2 light dragoons to to try and harass the French as they try to pull back behind the British guy who successfully defeated Raldson. Well, not defeated, Raldson's still here, sort of. He has like 6 men left or something. So first off, what I do is I take a pot shot at these bloody Fergusons, who he has exposed in front of his line. I do some good damage, and get their numbers down to 14. And while my hussars skirt round the grenadier unit, now I don't want to engage that just yet, and then I go after his tirailleurs, which I see as a greater threat. So, I skirt round the grenadier, and then I send separate attack orders from my hussars. So I charge this unit into the tirailleur just in front of me. Does some good damage, chucks a few Frenchies, bowls a few over. Yep, very nice. This is what light cav are best at, is chasing down running away units and attacking skirmishers. And I go after another unit, but by that time I realise that the British guy is too close and he has a lot of green jackets. So I come back to deal with this grenadier unit, who is now totally encircled. I turn my goons round from attacking that Ferguson, and I shoot this grenadier unit in the face, and then right in the back all my cav come in for a huge assault, and you can just hear a cav winning, probably one of the grenadiers gone, but overall that was quite good. I managed to get a grenadier, and I heavily depleted a tirailleur unit, so yeah, I guess you could say that was fairly decent, I suppose. I've also done quite a good job of mopping up the guy's rifles. Due to my dragoon assault on that guy's Fergusons, he pulled his other Ferguson back, and so he only had 1 green jacket protecting his line, which I then blow up with my 3 skirmisher units. Here I make a micro mistake and accidentally send the wrong cavalry unit too near the enemy. I thought it was the dragoons, but it was actually the hussars, so they get shot by the line. That was silly of me. But at least it gives Aileron the opportunity to come in with his Reggie of Horse and force that line that was defending the Fergusons into a square. Then he attacks the Fergusons with his Reggie of Horse. And how do I repay him? I shoot him with my dragoons. Yes, as any true ally would. So that was brilliant, that was. Anyway, that's the end of part 1, as part 2 will be coming right up.